politicians do not believe they answer to a higher power. They're a reflection of an American society and culture that has abandoned any fear of God, any respect for God, any respect for our founding and the founding principles. This country was based on a fear and a respect and our rights coming from a higher power, from the Most High God. And we just don't have that anymore. So I was watching George Santos, and he doesn't feel like he answers to anybody.
I mean, that is definitely true. But isn't it a little bit convenient that for Jason Whitlock, a conservative Republican lying a whole bunch to get elected by a party that is totally fine with their elected leaders lying constantly is not his fault. It's not conservatives' fault. It's certainly not Republicans' fault. It's godless, it's atheists, I guess. It's the libs. He needs to bow down before a higher power. The dude is claiming to be a member of multiple religions. I feel like he's hyper-focused on religion. Why aren't you giving him credit for that, Jason Whitlock? But anyway, he has more to his theory. Let's jump into this.
And he certainly doesn't answer to the American people. He thinks they're stupid. But there was a time, I've lived long enough, when a man's word actually meant something. A handshake, you make a promise, you stand on, but those times are long past. They certainly don't exist in politics. And so I would ask every man, woman, child, anybody listening, why we don't have a political problem in America. We have a spiritual problem. Our spiritual resolve has been broken, and that's why everybody's comfortable lying, seizing power by any means necessary. And this is on both sides. Men who believe in God are our only hope.
That didn't seem to bother Tulsi at all, but none of it really did. She was just nodding along as if everything Jason Whitlock was saying was perfectly reasonable. It's one instance in which she was filling in for Tucker Carlson. It would have made a lot of sense for Tucker Carlson to be on there because his blank stare would have made sense considering what was being said by Jason Whitlock, where you can tell lies now because you're not afraid of God. It's a religious thing. It's not a political thing, which is convenient, especially for him to say.
The goal for most people when they interact with politics, there's two potential goals. There's either the goal that it's transactional. I want to get something. A lot of people will put up with Donald Trump's lies, actually love it just because it's entertaining. I guess I should say the other thing. The other thing is just to be entertained, to feel like somehow they have control in a world where they might not have as much control as they want. And the control they demonstrate is by essentially going, oh man, when someone has a sick burn, or like you're stupid when they see something popular that they don't want to be popular, and then they comment on it. Donald Trump gave them both of those things. Now, those same people are very religious typically, and they say that like, oh, God is great and I need to, revere him and live by his code so I can get into heaven or whatever. They're willing to put that aside because Trump was so entertaining, and also Trump got them the Supreme Court justices they needed to outlaw abortion.
Yeah.
So I want people to think about the caring coefficient, like how much do people actually care? They say, here's the thing I care about, but you got to multiply it by something to get the actual amount of caring they have. I'd say like international relations, they say they care about it, they don't really care about it. They care about if they have a job or if they're saving the immortal souls of babies. That's most Republicans. And so the immortal souls of babies thing, they're in the minority on that. But when it comes to jobs and things that put food on the table and protect their family, they do care more about that. That is a high value caring that they have. And in this situation, no one cares about Santos. They're willing to kick him out insofar as they can replace him with someone who will get them the transactional result that they want.
How can we have a country, a great country, with the soul of America, when you have these far left progressives who will not allow God into the conversation, who will not allow religion into the conversation, not just the conversation, the schools, the communities, workplace. I mean, no one is allowed to talk about the 10 Commandments. These lefties want to scrap religion, Mike Pence, and I think it's a terrible mistake.
Right. Well, the radical left believes the freedom of religion is the freedom from religion. but it's nothing the American founders ever thought of or generations of Americans fought to defend.
No, they did want, that is the flip side of freedom of religion. It's freedom from the establishment of a state religion and making people put up with your nonsense, especially folks who are talking about, oh, I don't want my taxpayer dollars to go to that. Do you know how weird it is when people tell you about their religion? They say things like, have you heard the good news? And then they follow it up with, my savior was murdered. That's not good news. If that's good news, you're a psycho. And also, it's like people who are into Bitcoin and like bikes after they turn 30. Like, stop telling me about it. I don't want to know about the mod on your bike, and I don't need you to tell me how I need to live my life according to a system that like rendered a dude dead and then turning into a zombie ghost. So now you eat his body and drink his blood once a week while a man chants a dead language at you.